Oh, the microphone is working. How convenient. Hello, nerds of assorted colors and genders. Welcome to today's BOBSTREAM. I'm Bob. This is stream. Hey, Grace. How's your week going, Grace? Is my phone falling? I forgot. I usually have like a little Twitch stream on here to be monitoring. Hi, Totally Fries. It is my face. No, actually, this is DLSS 5. That's how good it's gotten. Sent off Final 2, hopefully Final 23 zip. Yeah, baby. Hey. Grace? Congratulations. That's an important marker, right? Hey, literally just wub. Your message. Hold on. I'm using like a third-party chat thing that combines my chats. You recently got a job as a mailman. Congratulations to that. Also, congratulations. The exhibit is tomorrow. Well, then I really hope it's Final. Then, see, then, it is Final 2, hopefully Final 23. For sure, because what are you gonna do? Just let it ride. You know? It might be completely broken, and that's okay. You did what you could. Probably won't be. Almost certainly. Knowing you especially. I've been in a bit of a grumpy mood this week because exhibit goes on for 2 months. Okay. But I'm proud of you. Tell me, literally just wub. Tell me, what is Evil West? Because I'm not... I may have heard the name somewhere, but it's not conjuring up any images in my mind brain. You're going to Enschede tomorrow? We could have arranged a meetup. I have to do a lot of cleaning this weekend. Also, next time, do like a commission for some kind of festival in the civilized part of the Netherlands where I can easily get there within like an hour's radius of me. Work out for me. Like Noya goes from Berlin all the way to Amsterdam every 3 months. Amsterdam is perfectly within reach for me. Why aren't I blue anymore? I said it's DLSS 5. It's still the PNG tuber behind everything. Well, my poor little 1660 Super is crunching itself to death. Yeah, Grace. So, as you may know, I, and also actually Mrs. Bob, are a little bit into Gundam. You know. These little guys. And there is a... Oh, shit. I'll fix that later. There is a Gundam base pop-up store, which is like just a temporary official Bandai run place where they sell lots of goodies, including some exclusive stuff in Dusseldorf, which is right across the border, right? Easy to get to. Would take me 3 hours. And it's open until April. And we might do it. Now, will it take me 3 hours? I think it was... Yeah, it might have been 3 hours. Probably like hour and a half to the border, and then 2 hours the rest of the way. Evil West is a stylish action game where you play as a vampire hunter with electric weaponry in the Old West times. Also, the studio behind the Shadow War reboot made it. I remember the Shadow Shadow Warrior reboot. Yes. Hello, Sally. How are you doing? I'm trying to figure out how to put this thing back. I almost broke my Gundam. One of my Gundams. Oh my god, this fucking Daytona shit. A little too much. Hope you're doing well, Sally. Homemade pizza. Look, everybody, when Sally says she made something homemade, that, like, the only thing she didn't do herself was, like, grow the wheat for the flour. And even that, I wonder. Sorry, I'm trying to get my Gundam back. Didn't break anything, did I? Yeah, if you have a garden. Well, for wheat, I think you need more than a garden, but at least the tomatoes and whatever. Energy new Gundam. Okay. Oh, of course I've got it the wrong way. I was thinking backwards. All back, all good. Now, very, very carefully. Okay. I'll turn it around so it's facing me. All right. Okay. Thank you. Whew. What else is going on? Oh, right. I'm a little grumpy because I sold one of my old electronics things on Vinted for 75 euros, which to me is a not insignificant amount of money. That would be really helpful in these dark times. And not only was the package delayed, which also made me grumpy because I'm like, hey, alright, the faster it arrives, the faster I get paid, right? Not only did it arrive late, as soon as the buyer picked it up, I get a message saying the sale has been suspended. Because the buyer, it was very confusing. The sale has been suspended. It's basically the buyer supposedly picked up the wrong package and burned up the QR code to get the package from the locker and therefore can't access the actual package again. I don't know how that works. I rarely use lockers here. But basically now Vinted has 48 hours to respond. And then I don't know if they can give the buyer some way to access the package in the locker or what the deal is there through the shipping company. But either they're gonna start the process to get the package to the buyer, which could take weeks, or they're gonna give up, in which case I only get 25 euros max. And I wanted that money this week, not a third of it several weeks from now. So that made me really grumpy yesterday. I was like this. Evil West. I'm reading, Wub. I'm reading. Evil West is a really cool game. Makes me miss the times when we used to get combo-centric games that encourage practice and mastery. And creativity. Let me look it up real quick. Let me just open up the old Steam. Evil West. The sci-fi cowboy. Flying Wild Hog. Yes. I know Flying Wild Hog. They also did... What was it called? Hard Reset. Which was kind of cool because you had like one gun that just transformed into stuff. Okay. So, today, which, just in case you didn't know, just so happens to be the day, I'm continuing down an unknown path of one of the greatest thrift store finds of all time. The subject of what I'm sure will be quite a long and expansive video because it'll require so much research. And interestingly enough, the game itself is like the least interesting part of it, but it needs to be made a video of. A force more powerful. The game of non-violent strategy. That's a printed coffee stain, by the way. So, for the uninitiated, let's just get some calmer music. For the uninitiated, A Force More Powerful is a simulation game, allowing the player to wage non-violent struggles for freedom and rights against dictators, occupiers, authoritarians, and oppressive rule. The player takes the role of strategist for a non-violent movement in one of 10 scenarios. The player assesses strengths and vulnerabilities, crafts strategy, and chooses tactics such as strikes, boycotts, and protests. Advanced players can create their own scenarios. And here is the most interesting thing. Produced by the International Center on Nonviolent Conflict. Really. I don't have a DVD of the documentary. Those have been hard to find. But it's on their YouTube channel in like 85 languages. I do, however, under this other giant pile of stuff, I have the book. And it's pretty hefty. I haven't read a page yet. Last week I tried to play it. I read the manual. I read part of the manual. I didn't read the whole manual because the whole manual is this big. And it's full of text. And I don't know how to play strategy games. I'm not a strategy game person. I don't have the mental capacity. But yeah, here we are. I have to play this. I have to. Oh yeah, I need to have the PDF open too. So the manual is funny like that. Oops! Don't run the game twice, please. The manual is 100 pages. And yet, it's constantly telling me, check the PDF version of the manual for an extra thing. Check. There's an interactive help file. Hold on, I can show that off. There's an interactive help file called the Resistopedia, which has even more information, the actual details of how the game works. And the player's guide has a very important chart at the end that's actually helpful in helping you figure out what you need to do. But I'm also thinking like this is one game where usually when I do videos on games, I want to get as deep as I can within like a reasonable amount of time. Like Rig and Roll, I had 40 hours of footage of, and I feel I touched maybe a third of the side quests, because they're like random and they're time based, and they interrupt the main story in a way that like you can't continue the main story. The main story just ends. So you have to make a choice. You know, the Desperate Housewives game, also quite long, has different endings. If I had the time to play the Desperate Housewives game 3 times over to like explore every single kind of branch, I would. But either way, I try to, for the sake of the video, for the sake of being authoritative on the game and accurate and correct, I try my best to play it thoroughly. Right? I don't need to see everything, but I'd like to get a good impression of what it is. For this one, I don't know how much I'm gonna play of it, because last time I did what is essentially, it's not really, but essentially the tutorial mission, and I got halfway through after almost 4 hours of streaming, and I made no progress. And that is following the instructions. I'm gonna try different scenario this time. Why is my Winamp not showing up? Where are you, Winamp? You look cool. I'm gonna try a different scenario, one that shows off a little bit more of the game, and I'm gonna play it on very easy. Which, curious about how that is actually going to affect the, you know, games do difficulty in different ways. So I'm curious how it's going to be less difficult. But it turns out, like, not only am I not particularly good at strategy games, or experienced rather, it is, in spite of being like this weird offshoot of a documentary that is also an offshoot of a book that is like a piece of propaganda that is also a serious game, and also a manual for nonviolent resistance that may or may not have some kind of connection to the CIA. It's not a shallow game. The manual is overly verbose. Like it repeats a bunch of stuff, but there are a lot of mechanics in this game that are very opaque to me. And I'm gonna try my best. I'm gonna try my best. Okay? So bear with me if you have notes, if you're paying attention. It's also a very slow game. It's a very menus driven game. You know, it's kind of spreadsheety still. There's not going to be an Eva Cache jumping around doing backflips with bad physics. There's not going to be any trucks or Desperate Housewives or very weird stuff, but I'm going to try my best to keep it entertaining. And I'm going to stop Winamp. That's what we're going to do. I might continue Winamp during, because one, the game itself barely has any music. This is just the menu music. Oh, but also, the last stream got a copyright thing on YouTube. Supposedly for music. It's not for music. It was for a sound effect. There's like an ambient traffic sound effect that somebody put into their YouTube automatic detection database, which is absolutely ridiculous. Needless to say, that sound effect will not appear in the video. I don't make any significant advertising income from these streams, because I don't have a whole lot of viewership for the YouTube stream, so I'm not bothered by that. New conflict. Okay, so we have Corruption is Stealing is the one we tried, and that had low complexity, and I had no idea what I was doing. Bringing down a dictator. Eternal Vigilance. Go back to the barracks. That has high complexity. Justice on the Waterfront. That has low complexity. What I want is, I want to... The last scenario didn't have a countrywide thing. It all happened in one city. And I want to understand the mechanics of when there's also like countrywide, a country map. And I want to see what that looks like. Pain and suffrage. Let's read through them. Bringing down a dictator. Infeliz has been ruled. Hi, Badger. Infeliz, which means unhappy, has been ruled for 20 years by the dictator Michael Kosanic. He has relied on army support for most of his presidency, but he has recently formed a paramilitary group, the Right Hand Men, which has angered some of the regular soldiers. Because of the unrest, the time may be right to put pressure on Kosanic and make him hold elections. However, if you don't keep the army calm, this could lead to a military coup. As the planner for an inexperienced resistance movement, can you keep a middle course, avoiding Kosanic's rage as well as total civil disorder in Infeliz? The small country of Brednisov. I'm gonna lower the volume on this a little bit more. The small country of Brednisov is on the edge of dictatorship. The elected president Ninoslav Terzic promised reforms, but economic hard times have hit the country. In order to maintain national stability, he has abolished civil rights and cancelled the upcoming elections. As a strategic planner for a non-violent movement, can you stop the tyranny by forcing President Terzic to reinstate your freedoms and hold fair elections? A military junta, the Council of Principle, has been ruling Bedorven for decades. They violently repress all opposition and pit neighbor against neighbor. The economy of the country has been devastated and the people are starving, even though loyalists live richly from illegal drug trade. A political group, the Democratic Front, is trying to bring non-violent resistant forces together, but there is much mistrust. As a strategic planner of this group, can you bring the people of Bedorven together to call for elections that the junta will recognize? We're probably not going to go for a high complexity one. On the docks of Kadenge, working conditions are awful. The dock workers reached the limit of their patience when Jan Gate, a well-liked supervisor, was severely injured on the job. He was left on his own to pay for expensive medical care and then was fired. Members of the former communist dictatorship are still in control, so the workers can't do anything through the legal system without political connections. Can you help them change their working conditions over the next year through other ways? That seems interesting, but maybe a little too simple. Ulmar is run by a fundamentalist monarchy that considers women to be second-class citizens. A non-violent women's movement is trying to bring reform to the country, but is opposed by extreme religious groups, including the religious police. As a strategic planner for the movement, can you force the government to hold a referendum to give women voting rights and gather enough popular support to win it? How do you feel about Doom mods by any chance? Why the clown font? I don't know. I have no feelings whatsoever about Doom mods other than they tend to be cool. And some people make incredible things. Paradise Regained. The Aleutian Islands have always been thought of as a beautiful South Pacific paradise. As a bonus, the spice trade through the great port of Tropitania on East Talu has kept the archipelago prosperous for centuries. But there is trouble in paradise. The situation on the western island has turned violent. The oppressed Yari minority on the island of West Talu has been fighting for autonomy for years, but has not been able to convince the ruling body to loosen the reins. Some within the oppressed minority have resorted to car and church bombings to drive home the point of freedom now, freedom forever. But the ruling Aleutian majority on the central island of Great Talu does not see it that way, and have taken strong measures to eradicate the violence and those who perpetrate it. Strict curfews and martial law has been declared many times, and some might say that the clampdown has gone too far. Blah, blah, blah. Global community. Can you solve the problem? I don't know. The weight of tradition. Medium. 2 ethnic groups. Whew. Getting real. 2 ethnic groups, the majority Ravani and the minority Gilradi, have coexisted uneasily for decades in the city of Bilal. The Gilradi, particularly the younger generation, are no longer satisfied with second-class citizenship. But there are forces in Bilal that like things just the way they are. Unwelcome guests. Tensions between the countries of Borzova and Luthania had been growing for decades over a land squabble. Last year, the Borsovan army stormed in and has occupied Luthania since. Foreign governments have condemned the invasion, but nothing more. If freedom is to come, it must come from within. A group of concerned citizens has come together to force Borzova to withdraw. As an advisor to the inexperienced non-violent resistance movement, can you get the support of the Luthanian public, the international community, and force the withdrawal? Was this high? Yeah. We're done with the war. This is low. That's funny. Start date 2015, end 2017. This one's set in the future. In an attempt to grab uranium, the country of Soporia has been waging war with Zyrtec for the past 2 years. The price paid by the Soporian people has been high: a worsening economy, a multitude of dead soldiers, and rumors of forced military service. You are the strategic planner for a group of war veterans who is trying to stop the senseless war. I all mind. Oh, that's it. So is there one that's medium? Bringing down a dictator. Infeliz. Okay. Gonna bump that shit to hit very easy. And then we'll have to do some more reading. When the water starts boiling, it is foolish. Oh, okay. Alright, here we go. This game, by the way, runs at 800 by 600 and nothing more. Bringing down a dictator. The country of Infeliz is a small subtropical country with 2 regions. The mountainous region of Montaña, which means mountains, is mostly remote and inaccessible, with the exception of the small city of Roca in the southwest. This town sprang up as a result of the nickel mines in the area. There is also a small but growing industry of llama wool production carried out by the Tenwa tribe, who are native to the mountainous region and historically have been secluded because they live in the most inaccessible areas. Planisius is the agricultural region. Most of the area is rural, dotted with small villages and farms. However, the capital city of Advogado is located there, as well as the country's only university. The budding textile industry has recently resulted in the opening of a clothing factory. Because the Tenwas are the primary supplier of wool to the factory, there has been more interaction between residents of Planisis and Montaña than in the past. The ruler of Infeliz, Michael Kosanich, is in effect a dictator, even though he was originally elected 20 years ago. His tolerance of dissent has waxed and waned over the years with his moods, as well as his need to portray to other nations that he is running a democratic government in times of financial stress. As the major product of the country is nickel, the financial conditions of his country tend to be rather volatile. Recent labor unrest because of economic uncertainty in the market has caused him to crack down unusually harshly. He has abolished the constitution, officially dissolved the legislature, and runs the country on his own with the support of the army, who directly receive a substantial share of revenue from nickel sales. So, I've been reading the manual. That means if I can affect nickel sales for the worse, he won't be able to pay the army as much, and the army might be less likely to support him. A rash of kidnappings by the right-hand men officially a presidential bodyguard, but in reality an all-purpose paramilitary group, over the past year has enraged a group of mothers who are starting to band together to protest the government. This is funny. I semi-related. My my mother on Aruba knows that I'm building basically a library about books about Aruba. So she sometimes goes and checks and sees if there's books that I don't have. And apparently there was one book in particular about an event that I was not aware of, which is like a 1950s protest movement of Aruban women against the establishment of like a big brothel. History repeats. The social collateral of mothers in this culture is high. Okay. Matriarchy. The military and police, although hardened, don't approve of the right-hand men, and there are signs they feel that Kosanic has gone too far this time. If, look, here's the thing, right? I'll probably mention this in the video, but like, the game is set up in such a way that the player is an unnamed advisor. Someone who has no skin in the game. I should write it like that. No skin in the game. Unnamed advisor. No skin in the game. What? So you could argue, am I, as someone who is advising the actual local protest movement, and am I the CIA in this game? Which means, as the CIA, if my goal is like probably get rid of this dictator because he's not beneficial to the states enough or whatever, and getting a democratic government in place that is on our side is better. Could I, with no skin in the game, no risk to myself other than losing the game, could I maybe trick this militia, these paramilitaries, into committing acts so heinous that even the military and police will stop supporting them? You know? Okay. Although the people of Montagna usually tend to stay out of politics because of their remoteness, they are finding themselves increasingly involved in the countrymen's struggles. Okay. Now, let's look at the demographics. All right. We have the Kosanic regime. We have the Court of Justice. Office of the President. Where's Michael? That's Michael, our boy. He looks more like a Mikhail than a Michael, but whatever. Infantry Division. Okay, the military is split into multiple things, and then you have multiple police. Then you have the right-hand men. Then you have the nickel company. Then you have a clothing company. Probably get them on our side, right? You have news media. Then you have Stop the Oppression. We have a mother's campaign. We have university students. We have another media that's on our side. Then we have a former legislature people who are unaligned, mine workers, the llamas, the textile workers, Election Watch. Election Watch is an international NGO dedicated to ensuring fair elections in countries without democratic traditions. Well, if they, whatever, their views on economic matters tend to distance them from many resistance movements, but they stay neutral and will not contribute financially to either side of an election campaign they are overseeing. Nonetheless, their enthusiasm and fear will determine whether they can help prevent vote fraud by the Kosanic regime. And then we have multiple unaligned, what do you call it? Characters. Geographic, demographic. Unemployment is high, literacy, no, unemployment is low or high? Not clear. Okay. And then we have two big cities. And societal. Right. Mission assessment. Victory conditions. Elections are called. If enough powerful groups are persuaded away from Kosanic's regime, he will try to regain support by calling for elections. All right. International monitors oversee elections. If Election Watch, a prominent watchdog NGO, has enthusiasm at high or better, and fear lower than moderate, and Kosanic has called for elections, and they will oversee the elections and ensure malfeasance is kept to a minimum. Collapse regime without military coup. What is interesting is, as I was reading the manual too, there are these acts you can take that can be risky, that they can devolve into violence, which is a thing you're trying to avoid in this game. If you opt to force Kosanic from office without winning an election, then you will need to ensure that both army divisions have at least moderate support for you and that their fear is little or lower. Defeat regime in election. When Kosanic calls an election, you need to have a higher vote share than he gets in order to win the election. Incorporate tribal groups into movement. The most organized tribal group stands behind Rorka Lamas Inc. You will need to persuade this group to join you to satisfy his condition. Pillars of support. Okay. So the Daily News loves the regime, as does the Court of Justice, as does the Planiciez Infantry Division. They're mixing like Latin American and Eastern European names. And the Right-Hand Men, of course. Roka Nickel only has moderate support. That's interesting. And Who Loves Me? Infeli's Bulletin, Mother's Campaign, University Students Association. Okay. The selected alliance's apparent strengths. Well, what's interesting is this game is like very heavy on leaving notes. What is the regime's apparent strengths? They have what you call it, the paramilitaries, some economic control, and some media control. Apparent weaknesses. Nickel can be pressured. Nobody likes the guy, probably. He doesn't seem very charming. Anyway, I'm not going to do that for everything. Lack of actual loyalty. Yeah. Army loyalty is based on funding. But then there's more notes. I don't have time to write this much. So we have like, this game could get so deep. We can have, we can say that we don't like the use of torture and we want elections. Those are our key things. How do we care about taxes? I don't know. Do we care about trade? I don't know. We want elections, yeah, of course. Labor, strike rights. Courses of action. Create a possible course of action and add it to the list below. Is there an option for supervised elections? Yeah, so one of the goals, and to be fair, I don't really know how this works. I think the manual isn't clear on how you reach the victory conditions, and I haven't gotten that far into the game yet to see it for myself. But basically, if I can remove certain powerful groups away from the regime, if they can get them to abandon the regime, then the regime will call for elections. And if before that I can get election watch to have enthusiasm at high or better and fear lower than moderate, then they will oversee the elections. So that will make it more fair. But then I still need to like persuade people to vote for our side. But I feel like that's the and then I can incorporate tribal groups. The election, yeah, I think if you call elections, I think probably the way it works is if you call for elections and you don't have the international monitors, then you need to win by a lot. Then there's probably like a 20% bias through fraud or something, you know? I don't know the benefit of incorporating the tribal groups other than you know, moral support or whatever. There's an interesting thing in the manual. It says multiple times, some victory conditions are unattainable. Probably at any difficulty. These scenarios are designed not to be beaten, but to be teaching instruments. And so they've thrown some goals in there that are literally unattainable in the time that they're given to you. Okay, we've done that. Okay, victory conditions. Primary goal, to oust Kosanich non-violently however you see fit. Right. So and I can also, hi Fluff, I can also, what's interesting too is I get to select what the victory conditions are. So you get to kind of customize your path through the scenario. I feel like maybe I want to collapse the regime. You know? Not necessarily call for elections. And then the trick is to not have the military become too powerful. Yeah, that might be a little like, I don't know. A part of me feels that'll be simpler, but that might also be more complex because just thinking about it, just without worrying about how the game works, I would need to pull support from the military, but I can't make them angry. I can't make them angry, and yet clearly the obvious way to pull military support from the regime is to take away their money. But that's why I'm wondering if I trick the paramilitaries into doing violent acts that I can't be blamed for, that even the game wouldn't blame me for. Would that be enough? The way it works, as far as I know, is the regime will collapse if I remove enough pillars of support. All right, so pillars of support for the regime are the state-controlled media, the Court of Justice, the Montaña Infantry Division, the police, the Planicias Infantry Division, and the right-hand men. While the resistance groups are not pillars of support for the regime. So like, okay, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Probably the right-hand men I probably wouldn't be able to convince. Also the Roca police. Each city has a police. There's 2 cities, and they each have a police that needs to be influenced. But the maximum are that I think I can influence are the military, the police, the court of justice, and the daily news. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 groups. So if I could pull support from 4 of those, would that be enough? I don't know how the game works. I don't know how the game works. I don't, like, here's the thing. I don't know if this is a good game. I don't know if it works as advertised. I think we're gonna go conventional, and we're just gonna we're just gonna go elections. Okay, and I want to put, like, incorporate tribal groups into movement higher. All right. So this is one city, and now we have the country map. All right, and here we have a fort. This is Advogado. This is corn farms. This a bridge. Another bridge. What is this? The right hand, which is in Montaña for some reason. There's the nickel mine. The nickel mine is has a railroad and a secondary road. If I could affect the railroad, that would probably do something, right? And this is Roca, Llama Farm, Montana Infantry Base. So just trying to use my brain here. Just thinking geographically. One, unemployment very high, inflation very high, so keep that in mind. This is the capital. The capital is close to a corn farm, but the corn farm has one road leading to the capital. So that is a lever. This fort is very close to the capital. And that makes me feel like they're more loyal, you know? Whereas this one, the infantry base, is close to the other city, but it's very far from the capital. The capital is the center of influence. And then there's 2 bridges. Puente del Sur, Puente del Norte. There's 2 bridges. The right hand is all the way over here. Regime support, no, none. Movement support, no, none. Economic well-being, moderate. Enthusiasm, very low. Montaña. Regime support, none. Movement support, little. Economic well-being, little. Fear, substantial. Enthusiasm, little. How is percent of the total population here 50%, and in the other district is 20%? That makes no sense. Economic significance, little. But economic significance of this is moderate. Economic significance of the nickel mine is high. Problem is, the nickel mine has mine workers. Right? Now, that's not a problem. If I can get the mine workers to strike, then that will affect the nickel mine. But what would the mine workers want? Who knows? This is Roca. And this is Avogado. What a shithole. Okay, let's take a look at our boys. Okay. Cosanage regime. Court of Justice. Policy preferences. Cultural attributes. Non-tenua. There is an ethnic component to this as well. Okay, this is Montaña Infantry Division. Advogado Police. The right-hand men, led by John Zarek. Oh yeah, I'm very scared of him. Clothing company. Textile. Whose leader is unaligned. Interesting. Government workers would rather have guaranteed stability. Okay. Office of the President, obviously. The other infantry division. Legitimacy is why. Nickel. Roca Nickel in category labor. Okay, now who is wait, let's look at ourselves. We have Mother's Campaign. Women Support Maximum. University Students Association. And the Infeliz Bulletin. President. Policy preferences. Law enforcement. Doesn't care about right to privacy, doesn't care about due process. Common use of torture. Strike rights. Not high. Corruption is normal. Freedom of expression is severely restricted. Oy. Okay. These are our boys. This is the strategic estimate. This is the city map. It's a national map. This is options. Let's look at who we have. We have Beth Freiberg. She's in Advogado. Right? So that means our center of operations is Advogado, even though, interestingly, support overlay. Support for the regime is low. Support for us is higher in Montaña than it is in Planicies. Don't know. Okay, but what can she do? We'll get there. Beth Freiberg and Tessa Odo. She looks like Odo. And then university students, we have Winston Devine. And then Leona Lilly and Randolph Lundgren. And then the unaligned, this is who we need to target first, I think. We have the Roca mine workers. I would like to target the Roca mine workers. And the textile workers. Former legislature. Who is the former the former legislature is not a member of our group, but its leader is. I don't know what else we could do to kind of, we'd have to, we have an in with them, let's say. I'm getting a headache. Do we have anything? I'm gonna put some music on soon too, because this is agonizingly quiet. This is the llamas, which are... Oh, there are notes. Montaña Infantry Division, no special notes. Advogado Police. Staffed mostly with regime cronies and relatives, the Advogado Police are thoroughly invested in Cosanej's rule. Okay. So the police, the Avogado police, probably not something we can pull to us, but maybe something we can target. Right-hand men, obviously. The right-hand men are dangerous and shadowy paramilitary group beholden entirely to Michael Kosanich. However, extreme elements within the right-hand men have begun to make even Kosanich question their usefulness. If they can be neutralized, that will remove a major threat to Kosanich's opposition. Now, I'm not allowed to use violent tactics. But I do know from what the manual tells me about how the game works. From what the manual tells me about how the game works, all characters potentially can die. Right? The opposition can use violent tactics on me, but also things can happen. I don't know. So right-hand men could potentially be neutralized. Avogado Clothing Company, no special notes. Office of the President, obviously. Planici's infantry, no notes. So the infantries have no notes, so the military could be pulled. Roca Police. The Roca Police are pro-Kosanich, but not quite as riddled with regime cronies as their counterparts in Avogado. So Roca Police is something we can target. I do feel like I need a notebook here. I don't... Do you have one I can use? I'll just use a basic notepad. All my notebooks are in use right now for projects. Pen. Okay. Avogado Police. Loyal. Militaries. Pullable. Roca Police. Pullable. Clothing company, nothing. Right-hand men. Neutralizable. I guess if they know they're being watched by a country with a far superior army, then they will not move. Yeah. Does this game count destruction of property as violence? Yes, I think so. I don't know. Tactics. Here's tactics. We can do mass protest, which is a vigil, a march, or a rally. We can harass an official. We can occupy a building. We can dramatize. We can blockade a city, and we can overload facilities. Perfectly legal. We can boycott. We can picket. We can strike. We can do non-cooperation. And then the rest is building and defense. Okay. Roca Nickel. No notes. Avogado Daily News. No notes. Okay. So those are also pullable. The Mothers Campaign was one of the first organized groups. All right. No notes on the University Students Association. The Bulletin. The Infeliz Bulletin has antagonized Kosanich greatly. Rumor has it that he holds a grudge against it and its staff. So it's useful. Presumably, the characters here have skills that are good for publicity-related things. But I might need to be very careful how I use them, because he'll just imprison them or whatever. General public. General public is literally references the rest of the population and cannot be part of either alliance. Roca mine workers, no notes. Avogado textile workers. Textile workers in Avogado form part of the city's manufacturing base. Yeah, I would hope so. Former legislature of Infinity still exists unofficially. Kosanich has not seen fit to order a major crackdown on them, especially because some of them have been individually persuaded to support him. Okay. The Roka Llamas are Tenwa. Tenwa is the minority, right? Not minority, they're just a tribe. But like, if I wanna engage with the tribe, I have to go through the Roka Llamas. And then Election Watch is also kind of neutral. They stay neutral and will not contribute financially to either side of an election campaign they are overseeing. Enthusiasm and fear. Their enthusiasm is little and their fear is also little. Let's look at what we've got. Who's our leader? Beth Freiberg. So Anthony Thomas has public speaking. And sucks at most of these things. He has a high public profile and high public influence. Public profile is dangerous because that means, you know, they're aware. Beth Freiberg, high enthusiasm. She has organization and charisma. Tessa Odo has no competencies. Winston Devine has writing. Okay, he has writing. Let's put him on. What was it called? Craft message. Crafting a message that rallies the public to your cause is critical for success. 10 days. Media ties. I need 21 days. Let's do 2 weeks. We have medium. I'm not sure if this tactic is a good idea or a bad idea. Why? Winston Devine's group is not well trained for this action. His group. Winston is part of the University Students Association. So what? What if Tessa did it instead? Bad idea. Tessa Odo's group is also... Oh, of course. No, we have the bulletin. We're going to have the bulletin. Randolph Lundgren, creativity. Yeah. Okay. Submit. Okay, that's one tactic. What else? Who else do we have? Leona has technology. She could make a website. Build strength. Build strength. Communicate. Publish a website. Creating a website is a relatively safe way to get your alliance's message out to a large number of people, both within the country and outside. Additionally, the website creator doesn't have to be in the country. Exiled characters can do this as well. The attention? Oh, it's illegal. And it costs a fuck ton of money. We need to do some fundraising. That's what we need to do. And I need to put on some music. Oh, who are we gonna get fundraising from? Whoever, the university students. Can we do more fundraising? The Not Tonight series of games. See? This is why I love chat, because you give me insights. Hey, Snoodle. Not Tonight games. Not Tonight is role-playing Vision Panic Bar released for Microsoft Windows 2018. I need screenshots. Moby Games. Not Tonight game. Oh yeah, that game has graphics. So, Okay, and can we start cozying up to the Roka Llamas? Cozy. I think what I want to do is we're crafting a message. We're making a little bit of money. Let's talk to some of these groups who may be sympathetic to us. Right? The legislature. Cozy up to what is the leg? And I want the llamas. I don't know how to affect them, but I want them llamas. And maybe who is this? Avocado Clothing Company. Arthur Gilscar. Let's just have meetings with them. Let's just be like, hey, you know, what's up? Tessa doesn't have any skills. Winston has writing. Leona has technology. Randolph has creativity. Technology. Meeting. Meeting is a smaller event. It is relatively inexpensive and takes relatively little preparation to hold a meeting, but attracts fewer people in exchange. Meetings tend to go boring after the time to try to hold up. Meeting with the former legislature. No. Anthony thinks it would work. Beth thinks it'll be fine. This tactic is small time. They don't have competencies. Wait, how does training work? Someone with charisma can train. Empathy can do training. Organization, public speaking, writing. Okay, one of these had writing, right? They can train us in political... whatever. You can train us in political. Winston? How about you do that? Communicate? No. Let's clear it up. Your group isn't well trained, but you are. I'm gonna do it. Tessa doesn't know shit, is the problem. Leona knows technology. Technology can get us... nothing. Maybe a press conference. Upgrade... communications efficiency. We should focus on popular support, not gaining resources. I know. Well, maybe we'll let her fail then. Let's Hey, Jazz! Fraternizing with the enemies, a relative disabled will put on your side. No. Charity. Giving to charity costs a lot of money. Community work. We're already out of money. Hi, Jazz. I'm trying to, like, overthrow a dictatorship in South America. You know how it goes. Distribute literature, petition. What can you do that's easy? Leave the country. I can make her leave the country. Press conference. No. Meet with. That's the problem. You don't have any competencies. I'm just gonna leave you alone. You're working... Oh no, you have technology. No, but technology doesn't give me shit. Well, fine. You know what? We're gonna try to upgrade communications anyway. They're gonna whine. It costs way too much money. Prepare for 12 days. Okay. Tessa is not doing anything. Let's make time pass. Let's see what happened. Start the fundraising campaign. Start fundraising campaign. We made some money. Upgrade communications delayed. That's fine. Mother's campaign to train. Okay. Let's make some time pass. The easiest solution is literally not an option. Yep. Mother's campaign has completed a 5-day training session with Winston Devine, and they are enthusiastic and now prepared to carry out tactics requiring political activity in a more efficient manner. Randolph Lundgren has crafted a new message of compelling quality. It should be very effective in rallying the public to stop the oppression's cause. Okay. Randolph. Randolph has creativity. He can craft a message. We already did that. Display symbol. Dramatize. Publish website. Send a letter. What kind of letter can we send? See you later, Wub. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate you. Fundraise, recruit character, organize social event. Where was it? Can you improve people's skills? Yes. With training. But then I need someone who has that skill. And these are all losers. Can you, like... Wait, who are you? Who's this guy? Anthony Thomas. Yeah. Excuse me. Creativity. Send letter. What is send letter? Thank you, Jazz. Communicate. Sending a letter is a cheap, easy way to attempt to convince the opposition to change their mind about a given policy. No. Can you send the losers on doomed missions? Absolutely. I think you can, yes. You can just get them all killed. Let's just fundraise. Or can I train you in support? Can I train someone in support and logistics? I might as well try to train as much as possible, right? You think this is a bad idea? But we can try. Time passed. We got 20 money. We got money. We got money. Okay. So Beth, you have organization and charisma. I need you to go talk to people. Charisma, blockade city, boycott, change alliance leader, craft message, fraternize, fundraise, funeral, hunger strike, meet with. I want you. Organize a party. Wait, the former legislature is in? No, it's not. They think it's a good idea. Beth Freiberg has multiple competencies that will help to tackle these activities so much, but it's the kind of thing that will ensure our success in the long term. Okay, submit. Anthony Thomas, you have public speaking over those facilities. You can do a press conference. No, I don't want to be too public. Train. You can train. Okay. What could we be better in? Nonviolent intervention. No, you don't. Can you train nonviolent intervention? Yes. Let's train the mothers. Anthony. Y'all think it's a bad idea. Even you think it's a bad idea. Okay. So that's not gonna work. Okay. What else can I do with public speaking? Dramatize, fundraise. Well, you know what? We always need more money. Build strength. Fundraise from the former, not former legislature. Can we do that? Yeah? Okay, you like it. Tessa is still useless. Winston can do writing. Craft message is done. Distribute literature. Does that communicate? Distributing literature refers to carrying leaflets or flyers to specific locations within the cities or nation. The literature addresses a single policy chosen from the policies that are earmarked. Okay. And then where? In a specific neighborhood? Roka Nickel Building. Yeah, baby. Is that everyone? Yeah, Tessa. Tessa, how about you do some fundraising? Be useful for something. All right. By implementing checkpoints in Palace Quarter, Robert Cotter is effectively imposing travel restrictions for Avogado Police is not thrilled with the plan. The people of Palace Quarter resent the intrusion. Avogado Police. Leona Lilly successfully improved our communication efficiency. Randolph Lundgren has begun a 5-day training. Okay. Technology. Not a great one. We're already working on a website. Well, we might as well upgrade our communication security then. It might cost money. It will cost a lot of money. But you're all cool with it. Anthony Tom starts fundraising. Tessa Odo starts fundraising. University Students Association has completed a 5-day training session with Ragnar of Lundgren. They are a little more enthusiastic about their knowledge of support and logistics, but Lundgren is a bit disappointed they weren't able to learn more. You need more time? Randolph? You do that, you know. What was it that you trained them in? Support and logistics. I'll give you... Oh, I can't give you more days. This one is set. Do it anyway. A successful party held by Mother's Campaign has helped gather people from former legislature who are enthusiastic to help with the cause. Yes. Not that enthusiastic yet. You're playing a lot of Gran Turismo 7. That's cool. Organization. Organization. Buckeye City Boycott. Canvas. Charity community work. Let's have a party. Hey, hey. Beth? Beth? You're cool. You're still enthusiastic, right? Let's have a party. With... Oh, I can't. Let's have a meeting. Let's fraternize with the Advogado Police. Yeah. That's what we're doing. Steven Semensky attempted to hold a government rally at Industry Printing today, but the effort was largely ignored because Steven Semensky isn't a regime leader, is not skilled in the art of public speaking, wasn't well enough prepared, is not empathetic enough to lead such a difficult task, and Advocado Daily News lacks training in political action. Groups in Industry Printing see Kosanich regime as less threatening if they can't even hold a rally. This is because we're playing in very easy mode, baby! The regime is incompetent. Anything else? Do we have anyone free? No. We're training. Advogado checkpoints yield no arrests. Robert Carter was unable to effectively restrict travel within Palace Quarter because members of Advogado police are apathetic. Robert Carter has no street smarts. Robert Carter is not exceptionally smart. This tactic has gone on too long. Leona Lilly successfully improved our communication security. Thank you, Leona. Leona! Go do some fundraising now. Let's see if we can get some from the llamas. Former legislature. Alright, funds us. Mother's Campaign funds us. Students Association fails training. Okay. That's fine. Your enthusiasm is a little low, huh? How can we use your creativity? Not craft a message. Display symbol. Dramatize. You're not going to be graffitiing. You already have a website. Why would you send a letter? Oh, that's communication, isn't it? Sending a letter is a cheap, easy way to attempt to convince the opposition to change their mind about your own policy. Sending a letter to Advocado Police. Robert Cawdor? No. Dustin Prince. Difficult tactic. I should have given you something easy, but that's fine. Tessa, you're here for fundraising. Not much else. After having the opportunity to chat with activists under the direction of Beth Freiberg, Advogado's police, fear of the unknown has abated a bit. They are now closer to supporting to stop the oppression's position on elections. Letter on election has been ignored. Beth. Organization. Can you teach? Where's organization? You have organization and you have charisma. That's 2 ticks for teaching. Oh shit. Oh, okay, I thought the game crashed. Anthony Thomas, public speaking. Public speaking. Again, I'm looking at this giant spreadsheet of skills versus tactics, organization, mass protest, non-cooperation campaigns, occupy buildings, organize concert. He should organize a party. That's what he should do. With our boys. Organize a meeting with the Roca Llamas. No? You like it. I don't like Roca Llamas Inc., so putting pressure on them seems good to me. This tactic is small time. Tessa Odo says... You guys don't like Roca Llamas? What about the mine workers? What about the textile workers? No? You don't like Election Watch? Like... I don't like Election Watch. Okay, well, you know what? You're not the organizer, I am. Roca Llamas. I'm gonna meet with you. Randolph, you can do some fundraising, alright, bud? You need an easy win. King of Dragon Pass. King of Dragon Pass. Oh, I see. Looks very narrative heavy, huh? So the developer of this, Breakaway, they still exist, I think. They tend to focus on serious games, advert games, maybe propaganda games, I don't know. Why don't you like this? Whatever. Let's make the time pass. Fundraising. Michael Kosanic has begun an attempt to convince Judith Terzi that supporting Kosanic regime is a noble cause. Who's Judith Terzi? You are the textile workers. Good luck. That's the Odo. Literature distributed. Do you have anyone free? Writing. They should pick a poll. What does a poll do? Calling for elections to discover if people will vote for you. Okay. Draft message. Distribute literature. What does wear symbol do? Moving billboards. About the message. Custom enthusiasm. Consumer support you will gain from the public. This is not illegal. If we go to... Yeah. Think big, my friends. University Students Association successfully distributed many t-shirts supporting to stop the oppression symbols in places, although many were accepted, some still seem hesitant to wear them in the open. So that worked well. Your public profile is still low. You're gonna keep doing that. What was it? Wear symbol, right? It costs a lot though. Where are we strong? Montaña. Roca. Roca police hates us. That I remember. Church of Avogado. Avogado TV. Llama Farm in Montaña. Day before Valentine's Day. Give me some good news. Judith Terzi is not interested in Kosanic's regime. Yes. Steven Semensky's attempts to intimidate Arthur Gilskar fell short because someone was tipped off and the secret got out. Members of the Advogado clothing company think the Kosanic regime is overstepping its bounds and regarded as even less legitimate, but they are enthusiastic that it had no effect on them. We had a good meeting. We got t-shirts. Winston? Winston, you're our t-shirt man. Legislature. Where's the legislature based? Roca wool processors. Anthony has public speaking. Change alliance leader, change policy, dramatize. Is that an attack? No. Dramatizes communicate. No? Where's dramatize? Damn, dramatize is an attack. Dramatizing a bad situation with humor can make the opposition seem less scary and get public enthusiastically on your side. Whether you deliver your message with street theater, pranks, or some other creative endeavor, you can use drama to your alliance's advantage. Having a tasked character with public speaking skills, charisma, and creativity helps, as does a group with enthusiasm and a good quality message. It might get you... It's illegal, though. I'm not ready yet for, like... You know... Why not? Why can't you? Why can't I distribute literature? Petition, ticket, poll. It's writing. No, it's public speaking that you're good at. Where the fuck is public speaking? This chart is so annoying. Public speaking. Dramatize, fundraise. You know what? Can we count on you to get us some cash? The Avogado textile workers. Shirts. Get them to support us, man. Winston is still down to just be wearing t-shirts everywhere. Avogado Police is loyal. Roca Police. Dangerous, huh? Mother's Campaign trained. Alright, and now you can train the others in nonviolent intervention. Beth, please train the Students Association. No? This is impossible? Why? But the Infelice Bulletin can do it. Okay. Is it because the Students Association is one person? How do we get the clothing company? Can you meet with the clothing company? No. Can you, wear your symbol at the clothing company, which is headquartered in the Avogado Textile Building. T-shirts remain unworn. Although University Students Association produced many T-shirts to stop the oppression symbol, they were depressed to find out that people would not wear them because Winston Divine likes creativity, has no street smarts, doesn't have a lot of public influence. Okay. Can you, like... Can you meet with... Can you just meet with... Meet with, what's his face? Arthur Gilscar. It's illegal. Interesting. Well, then you're just gonna keep wearing t-shirts elsewhere. Where is the textile building? Avocado Textile Building is in the factory district. Where symbol? The factory district. Submit. Yeah, right now I'm not seeing much movement happening. I don't feel like I'm doing much influence. I think maybe more drastic action might be needed. Nope. Okay, you're done wearing t-shirts. What else does writing give you? Rap message. Distribute literature. Distribute literature! Winston! No, you don't think it's good? Impossible to bring off. Okay, what if we go to the... what was it? Avocado Textile Building. Also no. What if you go to the... Llama Farm? They're saying it's straight up impossible. You're gonna do some fundraising? Okay. We need money, and I don't want to waste so much time on you. I'm putting you on fundraising duty from the Mothers Campaign. University Students Association, no. Bulletin, no. Textile workers, no. Roca Llamas, no. Mine workers. They're willing to fund. Not a lot, but they're willing to fund. I need to meet with Karsten Toombs. What I need to do. I've played this game now for like almost 6 hours. Not today, just in total, and I still don't understand how it works. Look how mine workers gave us money. Tessa, you're going back to fundraising. That's all you're good for. University Students Association denies funds. Tell me your idea. Random Lundgren was not well enough prepared, spending more time preparing. Random Lundgren has no fundraising skills, the rest of the targeting was less than 20 weeks ago. Okay, that's okay. Randolph, your enthusiasm is in the dumps. I don't know how to raise enthusiasm. I'm gonna go to the... Okay. Enthusiasm. Enthusiasm represents a character group, neighborhood, or region's willingness to take political action on behalf of its alliance or the alliance it supports the most. That willingness could be promoted by the character, group, neighborhood, or region's identification of certain political goals, emotional, personal connections, blah, 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 blah. Factors that can change enthusiasm levels include decision-making style, ideological differences, inactivity. Characters in an alliance that doesn't do very much will become disgruntled. Lowly tasks, repression, success or failure of tactics. Both success and failure of tactics can positively or negatively influence. For instance, certain tactics such as distribute and occupy build are just no fun and may result in groups becoming less committed to movement. What could raise your spirits, Randolph? You're a creative person. Alright? What could lift your spirits? Craft message. Display symbol. Dramatize. Publish website. Send letter. Wear symbols. Hey, defines. Send letter? Send letter is illegal, right? No. Can I send a letter to Arthur Gilscar? They think it's a bad idea. It's impossible to pull off. You can't send a letter? To anybody? Judith Terzi. James Brooke. No, you don't want me to send a letter. Well, then you're gonna wear a symbol. It's gonna put you on t-shirt duty, I guess. Michael Kosanich recruiting Mark Silas. Michael Kosanich has begun an attempt to convince Mark Silas. T-shirts appear everywhere. Roca Lamas is now member of Stop the Oppression. Victory condition 1 achieved! You're able to cross cultural borders and include traditionally excluded people in your campaign against Kosanich. Hey! The llamas are ours, baby. Although Karsten Toombs is not. I find that so strange. The group as a whole is now a member of my alliance, but the leader of the group is not. So how do I... He's a business leader. He's powerful, influential. His voice carries much weight. I need to keep him on our side. But what did I do? You completed. You completed. Where's symbol? Where's symbol? Social event meeting. Can I meet with Karsten Toombs? No, I can only meet with groups. I'll meet with Avocado Clothing Company. Or not. No, because you're not creative. Recruit character. Your alliance is as powerful as the people you recruit into it. The ability to attract people to your cause. Can you do this? Empathy, charisma, vision, or public speaking. Craft message. Display symbol. I'm gonna have you display symbols. All I can do. That's graffiti. It's illegal. Hey, Red. In the factory district? No. Can I get you to fund now that that group has joined us? The Rokalamas. Can I get you to fundraise from them? No.
Assurance. Today is the day.
Is that a question, Red? I believe this to be the case. Dramatize. Publish website. Send letter. Can I send a letter to Mr. Karsten Toombs? No. I don't know what to do with you, Randolph. You can craft message.
Assurance. Today is the day.
Dave the zombie. Kind of feel like a zombie right now, perfectly honest. Okay. You want me to craft message? You can craft message. Okay, Beth will be free, and she's our most charismatic person. Fluff, don't make me ban you. I'll do it. Infinity's Bulletin has completed a 5-day training session with Beth Freiberg. They are enthusiastic and now prepared to carry out tactics requiring non-violent intervention in a more efficient manner. Randolph Lundgren to sort of draft the message. Beth can recruit character. I'm pretty sure. Beth can
Assurance.
recruit...
Today is the day.
Karsten. I went to a shitty seaside town to look at some flats today. Now I am sleepy. Did you find some shitty flats? What was your wish? Oh, that today's the day. Granted! You did find some shitty flats. That's awesome. Okay, we want Karsten. We also want... I wanna get Advogado clothing. And, I don't know what we do with Election Watch, to be honest. Their enthusiasm needs to be high and their fear needs to be low. Let's take a look at our book. We got tribal groups. Let's get some normal music. Here, this is perfect non-violent resistance music. Enthusiasm at high or better, and fear lower than moderate. But how do I do this, and why did I close the Resistopedia? Groups. Fear. All characters, groups, neighborhoods, and regimes, no matter their alliance affiliations. Can experience fear. In the game, this value represents many things. Fear of repression, fear of physical harm, fear of change, fear of chaos, and fear of losing power. Fear can paralyze people into inaction. This can only be overcome when enthusiasm is greater than fear. As such, characters can actively pursue tactics that increase fear for their opponent or decrease fear for their alliance. Repression and specific tactics. But which ones? I don't know. But what we still need to do is get... Okay. If enough powerful groups are persuaded away from Kasani's regime, we will try to regain support by calling for elections. God. Oh no, what is the game doing? Oh no. The game has moved. To a place where I can't get it. Because I am using a external windowing program to force the game to run in windowed mode. And let's hope it's saved. I'll be a little frustrated if it didn't save. Bringing down a dictator. 19th February. Yeah, now we don't have the law. Autosave time, 7 turns. I don't even know what we did, where we are. We lost a bunch of progress. That's great! I love it. I don't know what day we were at, but we lost a bunch of progress. Roka Lamas, yes. Leona Lily, you're just gonna work on the fucking website or whatever. That's all you can do. The mine workers are also sympathetic. Tessa is just gonna do fundraising. We still have high enthusiasm, so that's good. Randolph, Randolph, what did Randolph like? Randolph has creativity. We got Randolph to... Where's symbol? Send a letter. Randolph was working on the crafting a message, right? He liked that. That made him feel good. I got donut. All right. We got the llamas. So we got one victory condition. Now what I wanted to do is Let's see. We have Arthur Gilscar, who we could recruit. Once Beth is free, we can recruit either Arthur Gilscar or Karsten Toombs. So it might be worth picking one of those. Who's free? Nobody's free. I could do a manual save. Wouldn't that be a good idea? Good night, Sally. Say hi to Morris for me. Beth. Okay. Wait, what's the news? Arthur Gilscar scoffs at intimidation. Members of the Advogado clothing company think the Cosantra team is overstepping its bounds and regarded as even less legitimate, but they are enthusiastic. It had no effect on them. Robert Cotter has lost enthusiasm. He's both trained. Okay. We're gonna go for Arthur Gilscar. We're gonna recruit good old Artie. Yeah? With his strong mustache. So what's funny is, you know, the game has this 3D view of the city, which is pretty nice details. I'm hardly spending any time in it. I need some good shots of it for the video. Can you visit any of the places on this map? This is as close as you can get to visiting. Because it really, all it is a representation of some neighborhoods. And kind of like a SimCity type view of how much support there is for whatever. Okay, so this area really supports us, huh? Factory District could be moved, I think. And then there's the country map. The riots or protests appear on the map. So, yes, but like not dynamically. What happens is there are certain events that can happen, and then there's little vignette animations that play. But for instance, I did this last time. I had a concert. I put on a concert, and that then has a little vignette of, you know, like a band, and then there's a crowd, and that crowd can be like big or small if the concert is a dud, and also it can lead to a violent outcome, a riot of some sort, or at least some vandalism, and that would be shown too. You would see little people marching down the road, but like in a little vignette, not like dynamically like here. Although I do like their little sprites. Look at them strutting. Okay. We're for recruiting. Oh no! I already had someone. No. I read this wrong. John Zarek is a regime person also trying to recruit Arthur Gilscar. Fools. Arthur Gilscar. Beth Freiberg was able to persuade Arthur Gilscar that stop the oppression's cause is worthwhile. Gilscar is a little more enthusiastic and is closer to the Alliance. People are ambivalent about our message at this point. Well, good thing somebody is working on that. Just gonna take 13 more days. Beth, can you recruit again? Can we just go for it again? Yeah. And Anthony Thomas, public speaking. Public speaking. Change alliance leader. Dramatize. Fundraise. A funeral. Hold a mass protest. Overload facilities. Press conference. And recruit. Okay, so Anthony, your enthusiasm is high. Maybe we can get you to recruit our good friend Karsten Toombs. Anyone else free? No. So we're targeting these two now. But I'd also like to target the clothing company. And maybe the textile workers? I'm actually thinking strategically about this now. But I don't know if any of what I'm thinking makes sense. Anthony Thomas began to attempt to convince to use Carson Toombs. Arthur Gilscar is interested in the cosinage regime? You fucker. Leonie Lilly is discouraged because attempts to increase efficiency in communications failed. That's fine. I don't care. Leona, you're gonna fundraise now. From the Roka mine workers? No. Textile workers? No. Llamas? No. God, are you bad at everything? How about you do some training? Since you have non-violent intervention now. Although is everyone? Yeah. Students Association could use some training. And non-violent intervention for the Students Association. You think it's a bad idea? I'm gonna try it anyway. Barely spend time in 3D maps. Carson Toombs is interested. Arthur Gilscar is interested. Roka mine workers don't care. Okay, how about you go for Carson Toombs now? No? Why not? You know what? How about we have a party. With the former legislature. Yeah, we could bring them in. And Anthony, public speaker Anthony, what else can you do? Recruit character, strike, train. I don't think you can train anyone. God, public speaking. Mass execution, Jesus. Dramatize, fundraise. Anthony, can you fundraise off our new llama friends? Please and thank you. Winston, I forgot what you were good at. Did you craft us a message? Winston, what was the last thing you did? You fundraised, it didn't work. Lundgren right now is crafting our message. Winston. What use are you to me? Enthusiasm is low. The money from former legislature. I don't know what else to do with you now, Tessa. Be honest. Charity? Military parade held at Montana Infantry Base. Some were intimidated. Karsten Toombs is now a member of Stop the Oppression. Hey. Randolph Lundgren has crafted a new message of remarkable quality. It should be very effective in rallying the public to stop the oppression's cause. Thank you, Randolph. Karsten knows negotiation and empathy. But maybe I should train you in nonviolent intervention. Karsten. Roca Lamas. And Leona Lilly. Leona Lilly. What does negotiation get us? That's like a new one. Empathy is also very powerful. Negotiation gets us boycott, fraternize. Meet with, picket, and strike. But empathy gets us blockade, canvas, charity, community work. Craft message, distribute literature, dramatize, fraternize. Fraternize. Fraternizing with the enemy. Can I get you to go to, like, the clothing company? And Leona. I thought I was training. Distribute literature, fundraise. Train Roca Lamas. Okay, so I am training. Can I get you to just do, like, some basic shit? We want, can you go to the, which is the police that are pliable? The Roca police. Mark Silas doesn't care. We have a successful party. Tessa Odo kicks off charity campaign. Okay. Beth. Stephen Lisette. Can you meet? Can you fraternize with the Iroka police? March 17th. T-shirts everywhere. Okay. Leona Lily isn't quite sure what she has gotten into, but she's looking forward to helping. To be alerted to the opposition's plans, infiltrate one of their groups. When a member of the group you've infiltrated is tasked with attack, will receive a message notifying you of the tactic and when they plan to carry it out. I'm planning to craft message. Charity. A charity with the Roka police. We're gonna put some pressure on the Roka police. A charity, not a bribe. Avocado Textiles. Infantry. Oh, that's can you go like do some community work? Hey Tesla, you have high enthusiasm. At the factory district. God, this game is so complex. Lack of people. Yeah, I figured. Well, I'm trying. I'm trying to recruit from some groups. The thing that gets me is you have these 3-year campaigns. How the hell am I gonna do that in a 3-hour stream? Community work delayed. Roka llamas to train. Charity campaign. Funds. After having the opportunity to chat with activists under the direction of Carson Toombs, Avocado Clothing Co's fear of the unknown has abated a bit. They are now closer to supporting Stop the Oppression's position on strike rights and consider them as more legitimate than before. After having the opportunity to chat with activists under the direction of Beth Freiberg, Roka's police fear of the unknown has abated a bit. They are now closer to supporting Stop the Oppression's position on elections. Textile workers. Karsten, with your empathy. Fundraise, funeral, harass official. So far, this has been a very peaceful, peaceful thing. Carson, is anyone trying to get Arthur Gilscar? Noah? Let's try that again. Karsten, you're like, hey, I changed. You could too. Beth. What did organization get me? Canvas. Charity community work. Fraternize with the enemy. Roca police. Anthony. Anthony. Do we have like a speech? Press conference. Hold a press conference to gather support over a large area, neighborhood larger. Press conferences are very costly, but have the potential to decrease opposing alliance, increase support for the task alliance. Note that the larger the area, the larger the cost. Alliances using this will be more visible, which could be good or bad. In extremely repressive societies with low freedom, the press conference may bring about police attention. Let's do it! Let's go big. Press conference held by Stop. It was very effective. As a result, independent media groups in Roka are losing more faith in Kosanich regime and switching their support to stop the oppression. Because of their success, members of Stop the Oppression are encouraged and are less afraid of repercussions. Okay. But now we have eyes on us. So we need to be a little careful. So Anthony, you're gonna now do a fundraiser with the former legislature. Cool with that? Rokalama's trained. Randolph, the legislature needs to be trained also. If you're cool with doing that, are you a little more enthusiastic? Not particularly. But you seem to be okay at this, so... Oh, but the legislature isn't part of our group. Consarn it. The Students' Association could be better trained. You cool with that? Just don't fuck up? Although he says it will be impossible. Okay. Randolph. You're creative! You're creative. You can craft a message. You can display a symbol. You can dramatize. Maybe you can do some community work. Who else do we need to kind of start coaxing? Textile workers. The textile workers live in... Where do they live? Judith. Advogado Textile Building. Factory District. We love the Factory District. We love the Factory District, don't we, folks? Community work delayed. Yeah. Okay, Leona. I'm gonna need you to...
Interjection. The Crusader is rating the BOBSTREAM with 7 new viewers.
Hi, Raiders. Hi, Raiders. Hi, SK. SK, I'm playing your favorite game.
You are directed to follow the Crusader immediately.
SK, I'm playing your favorite game of all time. It's a strategy game. It's called A Force More Powerful. The game of non-violent strategy. Created by the International Center on Nonviolent Conflict. I am entirely out of my depth. I have no idea what's going on. I'm trying to non-violently overthrow a dictatorial regime. You know? You know how it goes. Now I'm trying to fundraise. Former legislature. No, I fundraised from them recently. Infinity's Bulletin. Yeah, we can get some money from them. Who else is left? More PP, Crispin. Anthony Thomas starts fundraising. Arthur Gilskar is interested. Come on, Arthur, we need you on our side. Can I get you? Arthur! Arthur! Come on. You still have fear. What if I organized a party? Well, that's for ourselves. What if I organized a meeting with, what was it? The Avogado Textile, Avogado Clothing Company. I know Karsten Toombs can do it. Look at that mustache. Look at those eyebrows. He can convince anyone of anything. Winston. God damn it, Winston. Winston is trendy, beloved by his students, and prone to long speeches. Long speeches, you say? Winston, can you do a press conference? No. You can do a petition. Petition. Petitions will address the policy you chose. Petition the former legislature. Anyone else free? Oh. April Fools! Regime is aware. The regime appears to be aware of us. We should take this into account if we are going to do tactics that draw further attention. Visit with the police. People still think our message is good. Beth is free. Beth, what do we have got going on? Got a petition, we got a fundraiser, we got community work, got fundraiser. We're not training anyone. Beth, do you think we could train nonviolent intervention for the University Students Association? No, that's a bad idea, apparently. Can we throw a party? The former legislature? I need them. I need the former legislature. That gives us legitimacy. Let's see how this goes. Looks like a lot of people showed up. Michael Kosanich led a government rally at Infeli's palace, where throngs gathered to celebrate the rule of Kosanich regime. Members of Kosanich regime were invigorated by the responsive groups in Palace Quarter, who appear to support Michael Kosanich more now. In fact, some local groups are even more changing their views on trade to match those of the Kosanich regime. Palace Quarter. What's in the Palace Quarter? Just a courthouse. That's it. So the court. I don't really care about them. They're not a. They are a pillar. Like, I am entirely out of my depth, but I feel like if I started a Crusader Kings or a Europa Universalis or something like that, I'd be equally out of my depth. I'm completely unequipped to judge whether or not this game is doing what it should. Which leads me to think maybe I should get someone to play who does know what they're doing. Well, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Carson is available. An attempt to organize a meeting for Avocado Clone by Carson Toombs has ended in disappointment. Carson Toombs is too disorganized. The government is too repressive. Former legislature ignored a petition. Carson. You're going to petition. How about that? You're going to petition with former legislature. And you're going to give it plenty of prep time. Okay? 12 whole days. Winston, you're going to petition with someone else. Avocado Clothing Company. Ooh. Come on. Confiscation attempt on Avocado Textile Building blocked. Kosanich regime tried to grab resources today when they targeted Avocado Textile Building with confiscation. The threat was not carried out because they got an emergency call and were pulled away at the last minute. Office of the President became dispirited and began doubting the legitimacy of the... Hey. Mission delayed. Implementing controls in La Barriada. Boer response is effectively imposing travel restrictions for the notice. Successful party. Okay. Hey, can you reach out? Can you, fraternize with Vanicia's Infantry Division? I have an old grandma. Tell them to join the cause. Mother's Campaign assists Factory District with project. Mother's Campaign was enthusiastic when their work on the project of Factory District was well received. Residents there are also enthusiastic about the assistance, which may help their financial situation. They are now more likely to stop the oppression in future endeavors. I think we're gonna start getting to the point where they're gonna start oppressing us. Avocado Police Station. Avocado Police Station and the textile building. Infelice prison. Pesa. Build strength. I think we do community work. We do big, good community work in the factory district. Feels like it's a good idea to get the factory district on our side. Police are there, and a factory is there. Former legislature funds stop the oppression. Why don't you join us? What's keeping you? We all want free and open elections. Who's free now? Anthony Thomas, public speaking. Gonna do a big fat illegal press conference in Roca, in Planicies. If we can get him arrested, maybe that can help our cause. You know, if I can get the government to start escalating things. Press conference delayed, that's fine. Infelice bulletins won't stop the oppression. Yes, bet your ass you do. Wait, are you enthusiastic? No. Let's get you to upgrade our security. Yeah, I know. We don't have resources. I'm trying to get all these groups to join us, but they have some resistance. Okay. After having the opportunity to chat with activists under the direction of Beth Freiberg, Planisius, the infantry division's fear of the unknown has abated a bit. They are now closer to supporting the Soviet position on the elections. Hell yeah, they are. Now you go fraternize with the Roca police. You think we'll ever make it to the end? Military parade comes apart. Richard Christoph, you suck. Have you tried getting good? Former legislator accepted the petition from Carson Toombs addressing the strike rights policy. They will consider changing their stance in the future. Fuck yeah, you will. I'm gonna do a meeting with you now. I need to do a manual save just in case. Community project started in a factory. Yes. Michael Kosanich wasting money again. A 554 formal suits and 3 walk-in closets full of designer socks. Our response was unable to effectively restrict travel within La Barradia. Members of Planisia's infantry division are apathetic. Advogado Clothing Company accepted a petition from Winston Devine addressing their due process policy. They will consider changing their stance in the future. Hey, Winston. Wait, who else do we want to turn? Who else can we turn, like... Orca mine workers? Election watch? Avocado Clothing Company is now unaligned. That's good, right? They were... Yeah? They were in the regime. We got them out. Who else? Roka Nickel. Coming for you, Roka Nickel. Avocado Clothing Company is now a member of the... So they went back. So that didn't take very long, huh? Tessa Odo... do community work in... La Barriada. There's a lot of trouble going on there. Avocado Clothing is back. Left the alliance again. I think they're like whatever internal number they have to support the alliance is constantly ping-ponging back and forth. Am I going after them? Textile workers. Factory district. No, I probably should, huh? Press conference held by Stop the Oppression. Very effective. Okay. I don't know who was in Miners Quarter Marker District. Where is La Baricias nickel mine? The right hand. Llama farm. A Barriada. Oh, that's the that was completely unnecessary because they already completely supported me. So womp womp. I'm gonna have you Miners Quarter. I'm gonna have you do a press conference. I know you're doing a lot of press conference, but that's what you're good at the Miners Quarter. Okay, it's risky. I believe in you, buddy. Press conference held by Stop the Oppression. Very effective. Okay. Attempt to organize a meeting for former legislative regards to has ended in disappointment. Okay. Karsten. Karsten, my main bud. I want you to meet with Avocado Clothing Company, please. Beth, I need you to teach Karsten about nonviolent intervention. Just in case he gets a little wild. Avocado Clothing Company is now a member of Stop the Oppression. Yes. Bill on use of torture fails to pass. Okay, so he's weak. Okay. So you have the company, but we do not yet have Arthur Gilscar. Somehow. Anthony Thomas. Public speaker. Reminding me to save. Public speaking. Dramatize. You can fundraise. We could use some more money, Anthony. Alright, we have some new people that you can target. I also want to target the nickel company. Damn, the llamas love us. Good shit. Anyone else free? No. Infeliz. Randolph. Display symbol. Randolph, let's do something risky. Let's dramatize. Let's dramatize at the police station. No, that's a bad idea. Avocado textile building. I don't know if anyone wants this. Llama farm. Corn farms. No, we don't want to dramatize. Nobody wants drama these days. Craft message, display symbol. But display symbol is so, like, lowly, right? What can I say? That's what your skills are. Send letter. Send letter. Every time I try to send letter, it does nothing. Fundraising, training, community project, higher communication security. Nice. Alright, Leona, you can also do fundraising now. Meeting with Avocado Clothing Company has added a disappointment. Karsten, what can you do? Empathy. Blockade City, Canvas, Change the Lives Leader, Charity, Community Work. Let's do some community work, Karsten. Let's do something feel good, okay? We'll do some community work in the Miners' Quarter. Get them on our good side. Charity campaign, trained. Mother's campaign. Mother's campaign was enthusiastic when their work on the project in La Barriada was well received. Although enthusiastic about the community project, residents in La Barriada stood cautious about expressing support for the oppression. Kosanich regime is watching the activities to stop the oppression more closely now. We need to cozy up to the cops more. See, the Roca police do like us. Maybe we can petition them. Tessa Odo. It's the kind of game you can, like, you have to read the manuals, but you can only really learn it by playing. Beth Freiberg scoffs at intimidation. Stephen the Sets attempted to intimidate Beth Freiberg fell short because someone was tipped off and the secret got out. Sven Decci imposes curfew in the factory district. Need to watch out. Avocado textile workers accept a petition from Winston Devine addressing their due policy. Okay, cool. So that means Winston is okay at petitions. You just need to give him a little time, you know? Little time and resources. Roka Nickel. Let's fuck you all up. I am also, just a reminder, I am playing on very easy. Regime taking notice. The regime is taking notice of us and maybe starting to think of us as a threat. Our members may be at some risk. Now would be a good time to take note of the status quo settings for policies such as use of torture, due process, and right to privacy if they are active, as those settings will define the extremes to which the regime will go to stop us. Status quo. Pillars of support. Raise enthusiasm. I don't know where I would even see that, so I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm just gonna ignore it. Winston, Leona, I need some of me or more you people. I need more of you people. Okay. The only discusses intimidation. John Zarek reports aid to Mother's campaign. Today, Court of Justice presented Mother's campaign with a check for the money they raised during their charity campaign. Mother's campaign are still cautious about. They're trying to woo the Mother's campaign. James Brooke evades police. Roka police accepted a petition from Beth Freiberg addressing their elections policy. They will consider changing their stance in the future. Roka police is green! Beth. Beth, my good bitch. Meet with Roka police. I'm gonna go a little longer, by the way, just because I'd like to at least make it to the middle of the year in this game. Avocado funds to stop the oppression. They are now closer to the... Okay, Roka Nickel also likes us. Tessa Odo. What the fuck did you do, Tessa? Fraternizing. Apparently seems to work. Fraternize with Roka police. Anyone else? No. The other problem is, next time I'm gonna play this will be a week from now, and I'll have forgotten all the progress I've made. Government rally comes apart. Roka Lamas was enthusiastic when their work on the project in the miners' quarters was well received. Residents in miners' quarters are still cautious about outwardly oppressing support for Stop the Oppression. Okay. Karsten, what did you do? Community work. And Thomas, you did fundraising. Press conference in the miners' quarter. Risky. This should be cool. Build strength, recruit character. Who can we recruit? Come on, Arthur Gilscar. Come on, buddy. Could use your skills. Avocado clothing leaves. Those fuckers. Avocado. That's why I need Arthur in the group, so that it's a little stronger. Anthony, can you do a petition to Avocado clothing, please? I need him to understand what we're doing here. Randolph, can you do a petition to Roka Nickel? Need to undermine their support. Also the police. I think we're doing stuff with the police already. Anthony Thomas, base police. Carson Toombs recruiting. Roka Nickel. Consider policy on strike rates. Yes. Winston. Can you petition? Fraternize the Roka police? No. Can you petition the Roka police? Much better. Refuse no arrest. Avocado Clothing Company funds us. Bob saves. Leona. You meet with Andrew Gilscar. No. Judith Thursday. No. Mark Silas. No, it's too illegal. Who else can we petition? Infantry divisions. Arthur, successful meeting. Even Lisette, huh? Even Lisette. Not gonna work? Impossible to bring off. Okay. That's fine. You can fraternize with them. Fraternize with the Roka police. And you can fraternize with the Nickel Company. Petitions are really strong. Anyone can do them. And they seem to make a difference. Confiscation attempt on nickel mine blocked. Petition delayed. Due process. Due process. Yo, it's time for another speech, my bro. Fucking illegal. Go to the miners' quarter. Tell them what's what. Tell them Bob sent you. We can petition specific people? I didn't realize that. Not a lot of movement happening right now. Roka Police. Roka Police is like, yeah, you guys are kind of cool. And because they're pillar, I need them to like... Yeah, I don't know. Let's go fraternize. The Roka Police. Curfew press conference. Could we like, can you petition one of the militaries, please? With like a fuck ton of 2 weeks of preparation. You're really gonna go for it. Yeah? I just want to weaken regime support. Chalets. These guys are all turning a little more green. I think we need to petition, former legislature. Get them on our side. Petition delayed. Roka Police who roughs Karsatub's visits. Damn. Carson gets insult. Petition discontinues. Arthur Gilskar changes alliance. Arthur Gilskar is now a member of Stop the Oppression. Finally. Karsten. Karsten, you need a win. You're just gonna do some fundraising. Alright. From something, who cares? Arthur Gilskar, you have fundraising skills. Well, guess what we're gonna use you for, buddy? Randolph. Randolph, where's your enthusiasm? Pretty high. Fundraise delayed. We have money. We just need people. Fish delayed. Carson Tunes. Opposition. Okay, nickel. Okay, nickel. How do I convince the police? Interesting. I'm starting to see patterns. Petitioning and fraternizing are very powerful tactics. Kosanich regime changes policy on due process. The legislature is furious that Michael Kosanich thinks nothing of passing decrees without their involvement. They and groups not aligned with the Kosanich regime now see the ruler as less legitimate. Groups that agree with the change support Kosanich regime even more for ideological reasons. Groups that disagree support them less. Okay, and now we have stuff delayed. That's fine. Nobody's free. We gotta... okay. Roka Nickel is now a member of Stop the Oppression. The first Infilisian elections in over 2 decades are to be held in 6 months. President Kosanich expressed confidence he will be chosen again as Infilis's leader. Victory condition 3 achieved. You successfully pressured President Kosanich into calling for elections. I need to convince Mike Stearns. And I'll need to do some polling? But this is exciting. We're moving into a new phase. And also, technically, 2 out of 4 victory conditions achieved. That's pretty cool. What do I have left running? Everything ends on the 21st of June, and then July. Oh my god. Curfew yields no arrest. Mike Stern's recruiting Mark Silas. Thomas Stosic becomes active. New on the scene. Thomas Stosic has begun to take more than a passing interest in the conflict and has joined Montana Infantry Division. Okay. Aiden Bochka becomes active. That's interesting. New people join. New people. New on the scene. Active. New characters join the board midway. I feel like what I want to do maybe, since we're kind of at a inflection point, is I'm gonna run whatever I'm running now, and then leave everyone open, and then save, and then next week we continue. So basically, we have to try to win the elections, and we have to have them to be fair. Save this game. Yeah. Tessa Odo. They don't care for Tessa Odo. Okay. What else do I have running? Still till the 1st of July. Park and Toombs doesn't care. Non-cooperation campaign falls short. The non-cooperation campaign initiated by Beth Freiberg failed because the weather was awful, so the turnout wasn't as good as expected. Weather. Even weather can affect. There are some random things. Like maybe weather can affect the turnout of a protest or strike. Former legislature doesn't care for us, huh? The former legislature is kind of... I don't like them. Okay, James Brooks scoffs. Charity campaign. Michael Sanich wasting money again. Winston Devine evades house arrest. Stephen Lissette ignores petition. Okay. We have 2 more petitions going now. Military parade held at Fort Raimondo. Former legislature to reconsider policy on elections. Thank you. Last one? Or there was one more, wasn't there? Wasn't there one in July? Military Infantry Division to reconsider policy on civilian control of the military. Look, look, look! They went from orange to green. Okay. But, sorry. Oops, I hit the microphone. I need to get... I still understand. Enthusiasm and fear. I need victory conditions. International monitors overseas elections. Enthusiasm at high or better and fear at lower than moderate. It's changing. I need to convince them somehow. Okay. We're not running any tactics right now. So we're all clear. The The map is what the map is. Unemployment very high. Fears, I don't know if that's high or low. Good or bad, right? Literacy, good or bad. Enthusiasm is bad. Fear is good. Unemployment is bad. Economic well-being is bad. Support for cosanage is bad. Support for Stop the Oppression is not great. So for part 2, convince. I do feel it's interesting. I do feel like the game has changed now, because the goal has switched from try to get elections started to win the election and make sure it's fair. I don't know quite how to do that. And then win election. Interesting. Alright, I'm gonna leave it there, since I could easily, like, keep going forever and ever. I will probably return. Well, probably. I'm. What I want to do, I think, because, see, this is the consideration I have to make with the video. The game. I don't want to say the game isn't interesting, but the game is not very captivating as a game, because it's a very slow-paced, menu-driven strategy game. Right? There's not a lot of drama to it. So I'm not going to play through all the campaigns, especially because they're going to take forever. I think what I'm going to do is there will be one more stream wherein I finish this scenario. That's the term that they use. I'm gonna do one more stream in which I finish this scenario. I mean, I already got 2 out of the 4 victory conditions. And then I'm gonna do at least one more stream in which I tackle one of the, like, high complexity ones that maybe has a little bit more drama going on. Maybe not at very easy, but maybe just at normal easy. And then at least one more stream of the sequel, because there is a sequel, but the sequel is a little smaller in scope, I think, and I don't want to make it. The thing is, this is a video that's going to be a lot less about the game and more about the circumstances that made it and why it got made. You know, I kind of want to figure that out. I'm hoping that I can maybe wrangle some developers and interview them about how and why this got made. I don't know if any of the people that worked on this are still working at Breakaway Games. And I don't think the same developer made the sequel. So it's going to be very much a story more about the how the game got made. You know, where the story behind it, you know, than the game itself. Not that I'm not going to cover the game, but I don't feel particularly authoritative talking about a strategy game. I feel out of my depth. But that can be part of the story as well, you know, because how is it supposed to function as a teaching tool when it's so, like, opaque? I do wonder, especially since they made a follow-up, if hold on, is Noya streaming? Of course Noya is streaming. Hold on, I'm just gonna start the raid already because it takes so long. I can't manually start the raid from this chat. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I'll be back on Tuesday probably for probably a little more game dev. I think because I like kind of ping-ponging this. Keeps my brain fresh. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you, SK, for the raid. Got a couple of follows. Thank you for following. Thank you for being a bunch of cuties. You know, who deigned to spend some time with me. I appreciate it. I'm gonna go have a sleep. I suggest you do the same because it turns out that today is the day.
Thank you for enjoying the Bob stream. I love you all.